Let's move on to Liverpool against Aston Villa. Once again, we can get the match odds first up from Butler.
Yeah, Liverpool very, very short for this. And I think they look, on first glance, they look very short. 2-5. This is Aston Villa side that won 4-1 in the Capital One Cup at Norwich. Looking good. Benteke looks a great player, probably the star of the season for me. They look like a proper team under Paul Lambert here. But Liverpool will always have their backers at 2-5, and they're probably going to start off shorter. They have a fantastic record in this fixture. They only lost one in the last 9. Lots of wins, not many draws, lots of home wins, Liverpool wins. But at 2-5, they represent too short for me. It's 19-5, the draw, which is around just a little under than 4-1, and 17-2 you can get for your money. 8.5-1 Aston Villa. But Villa, can they produce what they did against Norwich? And Liverpool got a good record, but 2-5 looks very short.
It is very short indeed. And of course, last season there were so many draws at Anfield that if you took short prices about Liverpool over the course of the campaign, you did your money. Can we trust them at 2-5?
No, not at all. I mean, you can't, because they haven't got more than one goal scorer. They don't score more than one in a game. I know last week was a bit freaky. I mean, they were getting battered by West Ham, and then injuries to certain West Ham personnel meant that Liverpool came into the side with a lot of luck. I see this game, I was looking at all different angles and thinking 1-0 Liverpool or 1-1. So for me, the angle is to play under.
Suarez, of course, is back after a one-match ban. It's interesting you mentioned last weekend, because when you look at the results, Suarez in, Suarez out, there's not too much difference. And did they play any differently with him out of the side? Were there more players that you could consider for first goal scorer, any-time goal scorer? Were there, in fact, more goals in Liverpool when you look back at that West Ham game than maybe when Suarez played, if the game always comes through the Uruguay?
Exactly, and we're looking at Arsenal and Robin van Persie last year. We're looking now at Liverpool. And if you have success like they undoubtedly do have when Suarez is playing, then you're going to have to keep going that way. When he's not there, other players come to the fore. I thought John Joe Shelby done really well last week, and if he plays attacking midfielder, I think he might get on the score sheet.
Yeah, John Joe Shelby, who's been terrific in the Europa League as well for Liverpool, he could feature towards the top end of the market potentially when it comes to those Liverpool goal scorers. Butler, one suspects it's Suarez though that tops the charts.
It is, but he's very short again. 3-1 Luis Suarez. I mean, one team, well, he's a one-man team, I think, Liverpool, and Suarez is the main man. But last week, without him, they won 3-2 and scored 3 goals, which is incredible for them. I'll take your point. Shelby will probably be around about a 12 or a 10-1 shot. Take that, because if he plays up front, you're probably looking at a little bit of value here. Gerrard, 7-1. I wouldn't be backing him to win this game at scoring this game at 7-1. I think that's very, very short. His goal scoring days look to be over for me. Sterling, 8-1. He doesn't score any goals, so why would I back him at 8-1? Benteke is obviously the threat, and probably one of the buyers of the season. He's a 13-1 shot. Wyman come off the bench and scored 2 in the Norwich game. He's a 16-1 shot. But it's all about Suarez, 3-1 to score, and probably around about 4-6 to score any time. If you look at the over and under market, under 2.5 goals, 6-5, over 4-6. Now, on first glance, you'd be saying, I've got to be rushing to back the under 6-5. But in the last 10 games in this fixture, only one game has produced less than 2.5 goals, and that was last season in a 1-1 draw. But this is when Liverpool and Aston Villa were pushing for Premier League titles rather than relegation and being in mid-table obscurity. The thing is here, under 2.5 goals is the bet on current form, 6-5. Forget the 4-1 win in the Capital One Cup. Forget the 3-2 last week. It's about what they do week in and week out in the Premier League. This is a Liverpool side that could only fail to win 1-0 against, just managed to win 1-0 against Southampton, and Aston Villa at home and away can't score in the Premier League. So under 6-5 is the value, but the stats say over 2.5 goals. It's up to you which way you want to play, but I'm certainly going under at 6-5.
Yeah, I think I'd go under as well. And you mentioned before, you're looking at maybe 1-0 Liverpool, 1-1 as well, which of course would take it under 2.5. This is a strange thing with Liverpool. We know that they can open up, but at home they don't generally, do they?
They get nervous because of what happened last year. They drew so many games. Teams don't go to Anfield now and they don't park the bus. They actually think to themselves, we can get something out of the game. And then when Liverpool do go in front, if there's a goal, then they sit back and they think, oh no, it was almost like that last week, that when they went to West Ham and they basically invited pressure and they let other teams off the hook. They got 1-0 up against Southampton and they kept it.
What about Villa for you this season? They had that terrific game and win in the Capital One Cup, but in the league they've been terrible, haven't they?
Yeah, they need more goals. I mean, they're looking at Holman, Weimann and Benteke, but they're a young side, and this is why I look at the odds and say Liverpool draw or Villa. I'm thinking I can't pick any of them because Villa are a young side.